And Walt, am I on back there? Oh my God. And then there's this one.
That's better. That one's better.
Okay. Well, that's because this one didn't come on. Okay, how's this one? Is this one on yet? Yeah. Anybody hear me on that one?
No, not really.
All right. Defeated by technology. Okay, let's try that. Okay, help, techie guys. This worked earlier.
I think it's on.
Nah, the light's off. When in doubt, we could change the batteries. Okay, that's probably because you're just hearing me. Could
No, I'm hearing you.
okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's as high as I can count. No? All right, well, the light's not on. Oh, it's there.
It's working.
Is it working?
Not back here.
Not back there. All right, we're going to try one more thing. We're going to try changing the batteries, because this is the one you're going to have to use. You don't want to hold this mic, do you? Oh, okay. All right. Whoever thought that a handheld mic was going to be considered low tech? Okay, this one we know works. Welcome, everybody, to what a wonderful group. Wow, we had to put extra chairs out. This is nice. My name is Marcia Larrabee. I'm the Vice President of Admin. Our esteemed President, Al Utzig, is somewhere in the upper Midwest on a vacation. Last known, he was in the Badlands of North Dakota. Anyway, so we have quite a bit of business to go through, and that's all really very boring. So I'm just going to put stuff up there and let you read it while I introduce new person. Our one new person got the things mixed up, so she had to leave, but I see there was another new member. You'll have to identify yourself. Just raise your hands if this is your first member. Tom, I do actually know you. And so just a quick, who are you and how did you get here?
Tom Kraus, moved here 2 months ago from the San Francisco Bay Area. Been a photographer, gone on forever, and looking forward to doing this.
Great, welcome. Tom has some really nice photos hanging in the venues.
And hand it to his wife.
And
I can just say ditto.
okay. But you have your own name.
Oh, yes, I'm Diane.
Okay, Diane. Anyone else? I saw another hand, I thought. Oh, hello.
My name is Greg. That's enough for now.
Okay.
Originally, I'm from San Antonio, but been a member for a couple of months, but this is my first meeting.
Great, welcome.
Ginger.
And Ginger, this is Ginger's first meeting. She's been to some SIGs.
Hi, I'm Ginger Hurd.
And from? From where? From where?
Oh. Round Rock.
Oh. Not, well, it's not here.
Got one back over
And back here. Nope. Nope. Yes, ma'am.
I've got a guest here.
Oh, and a guest. Lovely.
Kathy?
Hello, I'm Kathy. I'm a neighbor of Marcella's.
And she's a fantastic photographer.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been in photography all my life. I just haven't done much around here yet.
oh, well, welcome to the group. Hope we don't scare you away. I hope I don't scare you away. We're more organized than this normally, I promise. Okay, up and somebody else. I, I feel like a game show host. And Jane, who do we have?
Come on now.
And I'm coming right back here for one more new member, or guest.
Yes.
Guest.
Angelica Bauer-Starks.
First name?
Angelique.
Angelique.
And my husband's coming. His name's Alan.
Okay, and so Angelique, so when we're over this evening, everybody can, this evening, oh my God, let's hope we don't go to this evening. Yes, ma'am. Oh, there you were. I actually was looking for Carol, because I talked to her when she first came in.
Carol Norris. I'm just moving in a couple of months.
Oh, well, you're really ahead of the game.
A couple up here.
And guests here.
Glenn and Jeannie Thorpe, and we're neighbors to Tracy Smith.
and Randy. And anyone else? All right, well, this is lovely. So you can see, I don't need to read to you what you just read. One point, oh, this is going to be difficult holding this. One point here to bring out is that the nominating committee is looking for a new slate of officers for next year. Chairman of the nominating committee is Bob Mayer, back there. And there are some proposed bylaws being put forward from the board of directors, which will propose to split the current vice president of education and programs into two offices, one for vice president of education and one for vice president of programs and events. And that requires a bylaws change. The other proposed change in the bylaws is to allow an officer to run. It's a one-year term, as always, but the current bylaws say a maximum of 2 consecutive. The proposal is to change that to 3 consecutive, and I believe that's the only. Oh, and adding to the board a past president as well. The main point here is that the first part of September, all of the members will get a copy of the bylaws with the proposed changes indicated on them in plenty of time before the September 17th meeting, because the general membership at the September meeting need to vote to approve the bylaws amendments or not. So regardless of whether we have another vice president to elect, we still need to elect a board. That election takes place in October. So if you are interested in serving on the board, contact any board member or Bob Mayer. Okay, enough of that. And Clint, where is Clint? Can you just, yeah. Introducing Clint Bond is this month's photographer of the month. What that means is those 3 lovely photos, or those photos hanging on that wall right outside the door, are Clint's. Also the banner running across the top of the website are Clint's. So congratulations and thank you, Clint, for being our photographer of the month. Okay, so Buy, Sell, and Swap was a project in development. What I would like from those of you that participated today, either as a buyer or a seller or whatever, it's now some feedback. Please email me. Do you want to do it again? I'm thinking it should be a shorter period of time, and perhaps it should only be a couple of times a year. So if you could give me some of that feedback, or Tracy, because she's the other one here today that's part of that, and let us know if this is something you want to do or not. Also, I didn't see Cammie. Cammie's not here today. Cammie is our newsletter editor, and she's going to carve out some space in our little Snapshots newsletter that will be able to list some folks that want to be contacted if they have things for sale. Next couple of days with the same information on it. And we will go from there if we should continue this or not. Special interest groups going forward, it's kind of like the new year, right? It's September, school's starting. It feels like the new year. I don't never get past that. Okay, school starts in September, it's a new year. So SIGs are meeting as they normally do, with the exception of the macro close-up SIG. Christian Nielsen has been working full-time the whole time he's been here doing that SIG, and finally his work got the better of him, and he's just had to step back for the foreseeable future. Also, Howie de Blasi, who runs the travel photography SIG, has been ill over the summer, and he's on the mend. He's getting much better, but he's asking to just suspend the travel photography SIG until after the first of the year. However, if anybody in here is actually a member of those two SIGs and would like to step up or step forward and, you know, hold the fort, so to speak, or take over some of those duties to keep the SIG going in the meantime, I know both of those SIG leaders would like to do that. And so just let Tracy, who is the coordinator of SIGs, let her know that you might be interested in picking up the baton. Summer challenge. So you still have 2 weeks. Deadline for the summer challenge is August 31st. All of the information on the categories and what it's all about, it's all on the web page. You can look that up along with the Dropbox to submit your photos. At the end of the meeting today, we're going to take a look at the ones that have been submitted so far this year. At this moment, there are 4 photographers that put all of their 6 submissions in. But there's still lots of time for the rest of you to do that. Again, categories, information, all of that stuff is on the website. You know where to go, and you know how to do that. And if you don't know where to go and don't know how to do that because you're a new member in the club, there is a new member orientation scheduled for August 31st in the studio, which is the activities room, game room 1 and 2. Tracy and Alan will go over all of those little things like, what do you mean when you say, look at the SIG page on the website? How do I register for that class that sounds really wonderful? I have to buy a ticket for that? How do I do that? Those things are going to get covered in that meeting on August 31st at 10 o'clock. And that's all you need to know about that. Just put that one on your calendar. All of these things, by the way, are on the calendar. And all of these things I know you already got in print, or you will soon. And then we can always put a lot more details in print and not have to recite what's up there. So, upcoming classes, the announcement for September classes went out this morning. I hope you guys like this new format of announcing the classes. Barbara, our Education Committee Chairman, Barbara Friedman, we kind of borrowed that format from the computer club. With permission, yes, with permission, with permission. You know, what is that old saying? Copying people is the best, well, whatever, you know what the, yeah. Thank you, thank you. Anyway, so, you know, the idea is, obviously everything is on the calendar and everything is detailed on the calendar, but the hope is that you can see everything in front of you on one piece of paper once a month of what's coming up. The other change is that instead of having to see where that class is and then figure out when that class registration opens, all of the registration for the classes for the next month will open on the previous month on the 20th of the month. So if there's a class, Barbara's class, that starts the first part of September, well, this month is the exception because our board meeting is early this month. Registration for Barbara's class opens tomorrow on the 18th. Kathy Lorimar's class, that is not till the September 28th, her class Registration opens tomorrow on September 28th. So that's all of that. And again, once you see when the class is, you can open up the calendar and actually read more details if you want, but the details are in the piece that you got in the mail this morning. So, new year, the board wanted to take a look and have a new look. So, where did David go? David's in the back, David Werner. The board said, would be nice to have a new logo. And talked to David saying, hey David, are you interested in doing this? And David said, sure, I'll do this. So yesterday the board looked at what David proposed and the board approved this as our new logo. What do you think? I think it's lovely. And so that's where we are right now. David, do you have something for Dave?
Yes.
All right. David, by the way, is also designing the poster for our annual competition and the annual print competition and exhibition that we'll talk about in a minute. But thank you, David. We like it. All right, so this is the next new thing. Again, all of this is in print. You should have gotten an email at the end of last week with all of this information in more detail. There'll be much more stuff coming out as these things unroll. So how many of you that are here right now actually know that the Photo Club has a studio or studio equipment? Oh, that's good. Actually, that's better than I thought. But so the thing is, it doesn't get used very much, or at least it hasn't. So what has been proposed is that once a month, and you'll see in parentheses, usually the first Monday of the month, in September, the first Monday of the month is Labor Day. So we will have an open studio, which means the equipment is there, it will be set up, ready for you to use. There are 2 monitors. Where's Rick? Rick Sersma is the director of the studio, and Alton, where did Alton go? And Alton Paquette is the studio monitor. On these open studio days, one or the other, or if you're lucky, both of them, will be there to assist you in setting up, moving the equipment, and it is just that, it's an assistant. They are there to help. This is not a teaching situation. We're looking at later in the year, the first quarter of next year, actually having a class in studio lighting, but this is not a class. This is for those of you who already have an idea of studio lighting, studio equipment, to use the studio. However, that's the good news. Even better news is we have a whole lot of new equipment. And that's good news, except that it is really new, and it is really, really, really suggested and important that if you plan to use that studio equipment, that you get trained in this new equipment. And to that end, there is, well, I skipped over here, but if you've not seen the studio, if you don't know what we have, even if you're not particularly sure you would ever use it, but you're just curious, next Monday, August 22nd, what did I put there? In the morning, yeah, 9 to 11, the studio and its equipment will be set up for you to look at. We will be having an open house on that day. So you come by the studio and take a look at what's there, what's available. The following Monday, August 29th, Rick and Alton will be holding a training session to walk you through the differences of the new equipment that we have, if you know what the other equipment is. Then the first open studio date is September 12th. We will be asking you to sign up for a specific time slot so that everybody doesn't try to use the studio at the same time. You can do that through the calendar. When you go to register, there will be a choice for you to pick a 9 o'clock, a 10:30, or a 12 o'clock slot. All of the directions are on the calendar. And once again, before the 12th, you will get another email with all of these particulars in there. I think if you have questions, specific questions about that, I am not the person to answer them. So take a look. If you don't know who Rick and Alton are, have their questions. They'll take your questions at the end of the meeting. One thing that Alton has asked, and Rick as well, if there are a couple of you that are interested in the studio, and particularly if you're planning to come to the open house, they could use a couple of people to help them move the tables before the open house starts at 9 o'clock next Monday. The studio, I guess I skipped that piece, but gosh, do you know where the studio is? It's in our same game rooms. It's back in the back, in the corner. Activities Center, game room 1 and 2. Again, if you can help Alden and Rick move a few tables around so that people can get in there and see what's happening next Monday morning, they would really appreciate that. Wes, you had a question.
It's my understanding that the existing or old lighting equipment will be retained along with the new. Is that correct?
No, not all of it. That's a question for them. The stuff that you'll have to ask them. Some of the stuff was old, and according to our last program person who did some classes, I believe even used the word slightly dangerous. But as to what pieces were replaced and what pieces have been retained, you'll have to ask them, because you ask me and a light is a light is a light. And the only flash unit I know is the little pop-up thing on my camera. So I'm the wrong person to ask, Wes, but they can give you, they can quote you chapter and verse of every piece.
Rick, are the two cowboy and soft boxes going to be retained?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Okay. I think. Okay, so this is where we roll out the. Tracy, can you grab those two clipboards and see which is which? So this is where we roll out the part that says we need help. So there are two very big upcoming events, not yet actually, but coming up in November. The first one is the Fall Arts and Crafts Sale. If you're new to Sun City, this is a big deal because this arts and crafts show is open to the general public, and it's really, really well attended. This year the Photo Club has some tables. This is our opportunity to sell our equipment, not our equipment, sorry, not our equipment, our artwork. Our artwork. And 90% of the sales goes to the artist and 10% comes to the club. There's no sales tax on that weekend. The club has 3 tables. There's going to be much, much, much more information coming out in the next couple of weeks about this. Rita Johnston is the coordinator of this, and my notes to myself say, and Rita is on her way back from the Pacific Northwest. But Rita got here today, so the point is we need lots of volunteer help for that. People to man the tables, people to help set up on the Friday night, cashiers, you can imagine, we need help. So to that end, one of these, I have a clipboard that's I'm going to pass around. This is just asking, yes, I can help. Give us your name, your phone number, email, and how you think you could help. You'd be willing to help set up, you'd be willing to sell, you'd be whatever. It's on there. So yes, that's a pretty intense event, and we will need volunteers. And again, you will get email with a lot more information. The next one is our, I like to think of this as the Photo Club's signature event of the year. This is our annual print competition and exhibit. The call for photos will go out within the next few weeks, at least by the middle of September. You will register for your registration for the show, and the competition rather, is on October 1st. Photos will be delivered on Sunday, November 6th. You will notice that's the same weekend as the Arts and Crafts Fair. They're winding down, we're gearing up. It's an intense day for us, but we will be delivering the photos early in the morning on Sunday. Our panel of 3 local judges will be judging the prints between approximately 11:30 and when they're done. And in the late afternoon and evening, the photos will be hung in the activities center. So once again, we'll need some volunteers, perhaps not as many as we need for the crafts fair, but nevertheless, we will also need some volunteers. So the second sign-up sheet says, yes, I can help. And again, if that's something that you are able to help us with on that one day, we would really appreciate knowing that you are available for help. And with that, I think I'm going to literally unplug, give us a minute or two to switch over mics and all sorts of other stuff. And then Tracy will introduce our very own, can I call you our very own? Yeah, our very own Randy Dykstra.
Thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry about this turnout today. This is really great. Randy Dykstra is a local Sun City resident and a Photo Club member. Been here for a while, and I personally am just
One was called Don't Bug Me, Bug Mitch. See what I did there? Okay. It was either Don't Bug Me or Be Beautiful. So, kind of hard to see that bumblebee in there. And from Tracy, A Bug's Lunch. Presumably it's the bug's lunch. You're not having the bug's lunch. And Randy's Bug and a Wasp. Category, I guess this is 2. The next one was Glow.
I just looked at this and it was off, so it may have been off for a big portion.
Okay, alright.
So,
I hope it works.
okay.
Marcia may have picked it up.
So, anyway,
I couldn't tell because the system's so loud.
yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was coming through the headphone or not.
Okay. So, I just now noticed that it was off though as I was taking it off, so I don't know.
Alright,
So, I don't recall switching it.
alright,
So,
thank you.
okay, I'll leave it up there.
Okay.
And Tracy's ICT. And I had a lovely summer in Italy, and so this is aperitivo. And I don't know if you can see how they attached that that dried piece of blood orange there with a clothespin. The glass wasn't that big; it was a mini clothespin. Sunrise, sunset. Cool composition, Tracy. So the title is Up Too Early. And this is sunset in Istanbul. And ooh and ah. And the only person put in so far was Faith with this fireworks from San Gabriel Park. Very nice. Life in miniature. Love this one, Randy. That is one teeny tiny teapot. Go ahead and be negative. This was intended where more than 50% or more of the photo is negative space. So with Mitch, hot water, where did you find that car? One of the car shows, right? And Randy's Pride of Barbados is a little dark there with this really bright screen, but it's really a lovely photo. And this is mine, and this is not really meant to be, this isn't what they mean when they say negative space. But it's the best I could come up with. This is the coast of Greece. And what's your angle? This is something that you're seeing from a different angle than you would normally see it. And I have no idea, Randy, what that is, but it's called The Way Down. And Tracy's patio table. Love this one. Love this one. And Mitch hangs out at HEB. And this is the last category. There's some nice ones in here. Shoot the moon. So Batman. I don't know if you can see him down there. It's the Batman signal. Don't know what that green is, but I'll have to ask Mitch later. The buck moon in July. By the time I got my tripod set up and everything, of course, there went the moon behind the cloud, but I thought it still made a nice photo. And Tracy's moon in detail. Nice job. And with that, we're only in the afternoon, but I could say good night, everybody, with this waxing crescent from Randy. And that's all, folks. Thank you. Get your photos in. The deadline is August 31st. And the whole idea here, folks, if you'll remember, or if this is new to you, is this is not a competition. It's just for fun. It's just to have something to do and focus your photography, pun intended, for the summer. And, but, here's the bait. By next month, all of the people who had submitted photos, their names will be put in a drawing, and it's just a drawing. Names pull out of the hat, and you'll get a $25
$25 gift card for Mulligan's. So get your